Hello again, this is Shane from Ozone Water Systems, and in this lesson I want to show you how to set up a new SMC pressure switch in our Smart Series generators. If you have to replace one ever, you'll have to go through this procedure to get it reconfigured to the way that we need it done for this package. The system, if you've watched the other reviews or tutorials on this generator series, there's an electronic regulator that sets the pressure, but we still use a pressure switch to give the interlock to the PLC to tell it if the pressure is in range or not. And the default, straight out of the box, it comes in MPa mode, megapixels, and we change that to PSI. So I haven't touched anything yet. I just pulled the little cover off and powered it up. So first thing we're going to do is hold the center button down. You can keep holding it, and then you're going to get this F0, and that's his first menu is units. So we push the center button again, and then we push the down arrow, and that changes it to PSI. We'll hit the center button again to enter that. Now we're going to go up to F1. This is the output mode for channel 1. This is one we use, and a default mode is hysteresis mode. So basically it has one pressure set point plus a hysteresis. So anything above, let's say you set it for 20 psi, anything above 20 psi would be clear, or anything below 20 psi would be clear, whichever way you set it. But in our case, it would be above 20 psi, and then the hysteresis would be whatever pressure differential it needs to get back down to. Let's say you have a half psi hysteresis, it would go off at 20 psi, and then it wouldn't turn back on until you got to 19.5. We don't use that mode, so we're going to change that to window mode. So let's go hit the center button while we're on menu F1, and then we're going to hit the up arrow one time. That changes it to window mode. What this does is it gives us a high and a low pressure, so it has to be in the proper range. So we want to be above a certain pressure and below another pressure. So once we hit window mode, we hit enter again, and we hit the enter button again, or the S key, because 1P is the mode we want. Now this is pressure 1L. This is the low pressure, so we're going to lower that down. And this particular generator is a 20 psi unit because we're using oxygen, and we generally go 2 psi above and below. So we're going to set that to 18 psi. Now P1H is our high pressure, so we're going to lower that down to 22 psi. That'll give us a plus or minus 2 psi range for our system. So it's going to have to be within 18 to 22 psi before it will allow it to run. Okay, hit the enter button again. Now this next value is our hysteresis, and we generally use a 0.5 psi hysteresis. If your hysteresis is too small, then you'll get some chattering. The relay will turn on and off too rapidly. So we'll set a 0.5 psi hysteresis, and the rest of it we just hit enter through. This is I think a delay time. Hit it again. This is the color. You can change it to where it's green when it's out of that range, or green inside the range. We just leave this as it is, and this gives us a green color when we are between 18 to 22 psi. So hit it once more, and we're done. Now to get out of that, you just hold it down for a few seconds, and it'll return to the measuring menu. So now we're in PSI mode. 18 is our low pressure. We can push that with just one time to edit that value. If you want to change the value to modify that, you can hit the up arrow. That'll change it to P1H. You go back down. So 18 to 22 is our range. You can also change the hysteresis from here. When you get to the one you want, you just hit the S button, and it'll blink that, and then you can change that value if you want. But once you've configured this, it'll stay in that mode, and you don't need to keep messing with it. Pressure 2, we're not using that. You can keep going through the menus, but P1L and P1H are the two relevant numbers. So that's how you set up a new SMC pressure switch. This is the ISE20 model that we use. Any questions? Give our tech support a call at the office here at 480-421-2400. Thank you.